Hello, my name is Chris Palmer, and in this video, I'd like to discuss link building and some link building tips, SEO tips for beginners. So the thoughts are expert, but it's aimed at beginners because this comes up a lot when link building, and that's the reason for the stop building backlinks image. It's not that you should stop building links. It's that the cornerstone of an SEO campaign is not link building at first. So that's exactly what I want to get into today. Let me walk you through a brief strategy, all right? Technique, however you would like to look at it. This is for link building. These are going to be the tips because content is your cornerstone. Content is not necessarily king, but it's the cornerstone of an SEO campaign. Search engine optimization is for optimizing for search engines. Google's job is to give an end user the best answer. Your job is to optimize so Google finds your site first. So what I want to get into is understanding the process. It isn't have a website, start blasting with links. No, I feel that there needs to be a process, and I would agree that a lot of SEOs that have been doing it for some time would say that the process should maybe look a little bit more like this. Now, depending on your niche, depending on, your competition, things may be accelerated. This process might be accelerated. You might start with an expired or dropped domain. You may have accelerants, but aiming this video more towards beginners, maybe you should look at it a little bit like this. So let's get into this link building SEO tips. So really, at the end of the day, our very first piece here, right? We have our website. When we're building out our website, the very first thing needs to be establishing that website and understanding and emulating who the competition is. Emulation in the fact of what's the age of their site? Do they have a 5-year-old site? Well, maybe I should start with a 5-year-old site. Are they using an exact match domain? Maybe I should use an exact or a partial match domain. How many pages do they have? What kind of keywords do they have? Are they running traffic? Emulation of the competition is the starting point. All right? That should be first. Who's winning? This is going to give you a blueprint or a guideline to start out. So the first step is the website. So once we have our website established, we need to make sure the speed is on point. We have enough pages. The website and the technical. So, and I wrote this out, website content traffic. So WCT. So it's website, and then we need to start building out our content. Now, this could be 20 pages, 30 pages, 40 pages, whatever your niche, whatever your SERP calls for, that's what you should be building. Links are not first. So once we have our website, once we have built out some pages, some content, then we could start looking at, okay, we want to get something coming in. So what are the first things that we should build? The very first step is going to be your social properties, right? Building out social properties. This is also, there's two things that you need to do. So social properties, and then we want to dominate our name. And how do we do this? Well, that could be Facebook, that could be Tumblr, that could be Twitter, that could be WordPress, that could be all of the properties that you can go and create that aren't considered, spam to death, like all of these off-brand, I could say, Web 2s. But whatever your competition is building out, if they've built out a WordPress and they have their name inside of the URL, that's what you should do. I'm sure they have a Facebook. I'm sure they have a Twitter. So your social profiles, and then taking care of your brand name across the web. So that would be any Web 2. Now, not going crazy. I'm not talking about building 50 or 100. I'm talking about maybe building 10 of the most powerful and most relevant Web 2s for your niche. You'll see them. Start looking up the top 10 keywords for your niche and see what Web 2.0s pop up, like WordPress, like Tumblr. What's coming up? Is Blogger coming up? So that'll give you a blueprint for your niche on what type of Web 2s you should build out. So we have our social, we have our Web 2. The Web 2s aren't for links. They can be used for links later, but at first, It's to take care of our brand name, to establish our brand name across the web. We want to make sure no one else can take this. So we have our social entities. We've built out our Web 2s around our brand name. The next step of any business is a citation, digital references. Even if you're not necessarily local, your brand and brand mentions, your digital mentions should be throughout the web. Excuse me, at least in some of the key places. If you're just like an e-com business or anything like that, you would still maybe have something, but not as much geared to maybe a service-based business or a local business. But citations would definitely be on the list. Excuse me. The next step that I would do, just like every business, is if you're not going to blast the web with these cheaper services for link building purposes, every business, legitimate business, will generally have a piece of content that's called a press release. Now, there's a lot of services out there that will send it out to 750, 800 places, 500 places. Maybe you just want your press release sent to the top level or top tier places. Maybe you only want to send out 50. Again, this isn't for link building. This is for blanketing the web with your name to establish an entity. Okay? So, press release. Now, by the time that you have your website, you've built out your social properties, you've built out the Web 2s, you've blanketed with press releases, Web 2s, social profiles, you've built out some citations to establish that there's an actual business location, maybe even a Yelp, some structured citations can be good for almost any business. You've built out your content, and this could be anywhere between 10 to 50 pieces of content, depending on your niche and what your niche calls for. You've taken care of your technical aspects, your speed, your on-page. You've looked at your schema, right? We've taken care of technical and we blanketed the web. By the time this hits, we're already probably 60 days, maybe 90 days into our campaign. By the time this happens, we have our content, everything is built out. By the time 90 days has passed, right? And I want to touch on this. I know that this is geared at beginners. But these social properties, these Web 2s, maybe even the citations, maybe even the press releases, it would be definitely recommended, it's up to you, to send some links this way. Now, if you want to, because these are considered your first tiers, maybe if you want to use a drip feed on your social profiles, maybe you want to use a high-powered PBN, maybe you want to get a niche relevant guest post that is not spam. This is high quality, maybe a $400, $500 link, whatever the case is. And you want to send one of those in that first 60 days or 90 days to the website. But you also want to send, and this is where I started talking about drip lead, you want to send the best link first to your website. But say your social profiles, say your Web 2s, you will want to send maybe some drip feed links. Maybe you want to send your lower tier PBN links. Maybe you want to send maybe a little bit off-brand guest post links to these profiles. This way we can establish those profiles and they're starting to rank. By the time this has passed, we can say 60 days to 90 days, you have the content out there. The content is now indexed. The content is starting to get a trickle of traffic. Because like I mentioned before, it's website, content, traffic, links, WCTL. Once we're starting to see that trickle of traffic, then we can start our link building. Now, link building, and this is another piece that I want to touch on. If you're planning on holding an asset, you're not just trying to rank and bank, however you want to look at it. You need to look at your asset as an asset and as a long-term investment. Anything that you feel that Google is going to look at your property, your entity. Let's say you were buying a home, because this is a vehicle to hold, this is an investment. If you're going to buy a home, You're not going to walk outside with a sign and say, hey, can somebody come into my home and fix this? No, it wouldn't, that's not what you would do, right? You would want to look for the most reputable, the best that you can afford, or the best that you possibly can, because this is your home, this is where you live. You need to look at this almost the same way. With link building, if it's something that's going to be long-term, have pride in it. Take your time. Do not be in a rush. When you hear these large numbers about link building, these are assets that are tier 2, tier 3. Nobody that has an asset that they want to retain is blasting their website with 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 links. It's not going on. Now, I do know of maybe on your second or third tier, something that's already low quality, or maybe you do some drip feed links and you want to hit those with your lower quality links. Yes, that's perfectly fine. But to wrap this video up, anything coming into the site needs to be okay. If you were to show Google, right, if they go looking at your website, you want to be proud of it. You know the links that you acquire that you're proud of, and you put that bar on your website in an image. Hey, I got a link on Forbes. Hey, I got a link on HuffPost. Hey, I got a link on BuzzFeed, or wherever you get a link. Every link, if it's an asset that you want to keep, you should be proud of. If it's pointing directly at your website, you should be proud of it. That's really the point that I want to make today. Again, link building 2 should be done over the course of time. Do not be in a rush. I get that question a lot. How many links should I build? Every single week. I did an equation video on this. If you're looking at a SERP, and I know this is making it as simple as possible, but if you're looking at the SERP and your top competitor has 200 links, and you know that you can build successfully X amount, you need to figure out over the course of a year. You don't just hit your site with 200 links. Over the course of a year, a natural progression, how many links can you build at bi-weekly or every week? You don't build 10 links in a week, or 20 links in a week, or 50 links in a week. And if you do, there better be a reason. That is where social signals come in. There needs to be an event. Something has to take place. There should be some traction. There should be a lot of talk about your site or something that you're doing, not just boom, your site has a bunch of links. That's how you get a penalty. I think I covered really what I wanted to cover today. The goal and the objective of the video was link building, some SEO tips. It's not to stop link building. It's to stop link building first. You know, I'll have a talk with, you know, a potential future client, perhaps, you know, somebody that I want to intake. I get looking at their site. I notice, okay, you have a 30-day-old site, but you've already built 500 links. You've already built 200 links. They're all coming into the home page. Link building should not be first. We need to take care of our website and our asset first, build out our content, make sure we're getting traffic, and then links. But like I mentioned in this small diagram right here, that's not to say that you don't build any links. You do start building links immediately, but it's not a link building campaign. Your social, your webs, your press releases, any citations. At first, it's content and start getting your organic traffic. Then as you're starting to get your traffic, that's when you can start ramping up your link building. My name is Chris Palmer. If there are any other future questions related to, you know, link building, maybe you have questions related to and you need SEO tips, anything, if you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're expert, maybe you want to exchange ideas, I'm always willing to talk. Always feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. And I certainly look forward to seeing you in the next SEO tips link building video. Have a wonderful day.